Good morning from Viñales. We are in the Cuban countryside and a lot of people only come here for a day trip. I think that's a huge mistake. I've been here a few times. I've always loved it. The views here are spectacular. This time I'm back, but with my friend Osmany, who is a local guide, and he's going to share with me all of the things that I've missed. Breakfast is in a local home where Osmany usually eats when in Viñales. A bunch of bus drivers also just left. Norma rents out rooms, but only to locals, so we're staying in a Casa particular next door for tourists. Cuba doesn't really have like a typical breakfast. It kind of tends to be whatever you have, but Norma apparently is a really great cook. Across from Norma, there is a kindergarten, so it's pretty active this morning, but you can also see the number of motorcycles, especially electric motorcycles here in Viñales too. The country has changed so much, and this is one of the biggest parts that I've noticed immediately. So electric bikes here make so much sense in that Cuba is almost always in a fuel crisis. It is why right now there are rotating blackouts, and actually we've had a blackout for the last 12 plus hours that was not scheduled but still an issue. But the bikes are coming from Panama. It makes them a little bit more affordable. They're still tough to get, so you see a lot of people on bicycles still, but it also avoids using the buses, which again rely on gas. And so if there's an issue with gas, people can still get around for the most part. And so Osmany was just telling me that this bike right here, so the bikes that come from Panama are actually Chinese, much cheaper to buy in Panama, but this goes for about $8.50. You know, the price depends on how the economy is. But this style is very popular because it's one of the cheapest. Nora wants to change her clothes to be on camera. It's so cute, but I'll just show you what her kitchen looks like. I think it's very typical in Latin America. So she has this huge stovetop here, and then also looks like a pressure cooker. And then there's always kind of an open downstairs part, which is way more sanitary than cupboards because it is so easy to clean. And her little cupboard system. ¿Todo bien? Sí, me gustaría demostrar una cocina en Cuba, porque es diferente de en Canadá.
Sí.
Sí, pero tiene una buena cocina.
Sí.
Sí.
Pero muy desorganizada.
No, pero tenía muchas personas aquí. Sí.
Me levanté a las 5 de la mañana.
¿Las 5 de la mañana?
Sí.
Oh.
Tenía 8 choferes. Le puse a 4, recogí, le puse a 4
más.
Y ahora ustedes.
Oh, okay. Somos los últimos.
Sí, ustedes son los últimos.
Okay. All right, let's look at this breakfast. So we have a ham and cheese sandwich. This is probably the closest to a Cubano sandwich that you will find legit, except you guys just call it a sandwich? A sandwich. They just call it a sandwich, not a Cuban sandwich. It also doesn't have all these other things. Oh, and look, where Norma's so nice. She bought more light. Gracias. And then we've got some bread here, papaya and banana.
Piña.
Oh, and piña también. So also pineapple, some Cuban coffee, water.
Miel, chocolate, azúcar.
Oh, okay. So then we also have honey, chocolate, and sugar, and
Jugo de mango.
Fresh mango juice. I love that. All right.
Mayo.
And homemade mayonnaise.
Sí, la hago yo.
So I was told previously before this that the most common breakfast by my friends was bread with mayonnaise. But do you want to tell people why it's not called papaya?
Oh my God, no. Slang word for female parts.
Yeah.
And that's why in Cuba we don't say papaya. We say fruta bomba.
That's right.
But it's a very common mistake. We are always made fun of foreigners pronouncing papaya, and we see each other suspiciously and say, oh yeah, that word.
I think in almost every country in Latin America, papaya is called papaya except for here. As Osmany said, it is slang for women's privates. And apparently, I don't know if this still exists, there was a restaurant in Havana Vieja that had something on the menu, and it was called papaya pie. And then they would all laugh about it when people would order it. Anyway, all the food is local. She makes almost everything. This looks fantastic. So this is a traditional Cuban breakfast. Everything else that you've had in the hotels, that is not what locals are eating. And actually, I would say this is a very nice Cuban breakfast. Yeah, this is a huge spread. She took a lot of care in this. So a lot of bus drivers and people who work in tourism stay here. So she had 4 drivers first, and then another 4, and then us, and then she will be able to rest for the day. That was an amazing breakfast. One of her neighbors is actually charging this camera for me because the 12-hour, I think we're now on a 14-hour blackout right now, that has taken over most of the country. And I won't have anything for my phone, but this camera is already on red battery. So the neighborhood is trying to help me out by charging things, because that's just what Cubans are like. They just are so helpful, and even though they don't have a lot of power left, they're willing to give me what they have. This is where I'm staying at the Casa, family owned. This is the back area. Kitchen, living room. There are a few rooms in here, but this one is mine, with a fan and AC. It's been great. This is the neighborhood here, and it's just one street away from the main street. But just a simple little place, everybody kind of sitting outside doing their thing. You can see a lot of rocking chairs. All right, so if you're gonna come to Cuba, you really need to be prepared and be flexible. Those are the 2 ways to have a great vacation, because things will go wrong, things are gonna happen. Cuba is a different world, and so it's best not to judge it, to understand it, but just to experience it. Now, I am prepared because for the last 6 to 8 months, although I've been shooting with my DJI Osmo Pocket, which I love because people don't feel as uncomfortable talking to me. I talk to a lot of people in markets and people who are not used to being on camera. It's just more flexible, it's better. But I've also been traveling with my old phone because it's so small, the Sony ZV-1. Now, I've been traveling with it and a pack of batteries, and it's a good thing that I did, because I don't know what the situation is going to be like today. And so this camera actually shoots better footage. It's fantastic with food, and so I have a feeling I'm going to have to use this today, but I'm just glad, I'm so glad that even though I travel light, I travel carry-on only, to be honest, but I still have this and a packet full of batteries. So I think we're gonna be okay today. And so we're gonna head just a couple doors down, because the woman who is charging my camera batteries right now, also her husband is a taxi driver. So we are trying to negotiate a taxi ride back to Havana. Prices are all over the place, and yes, you could take the bus, but I do prefer to hire private taxis because you are directly helping the local economy versus taking the bus. Sometimes it's more expensive, but they do take you door to door, and you often can stop at little roadside places, which are awesome, which I love. So we're just gonna go see the man. He's probably gonna give us a better deal than what the street price is. We'll see.
Take a look at this. You might think this is the mother's house.
Yes.
So the offspring
Yes.
started to build up at the back in the patio area.
Oh, so mother and then offspring. Oh, they just extended their house.
But take a close look how big is this.
Oh, it keeps going. It's like their own little neighborhood. It's a secret neighborhood. So right here, they also have some casas, but I think with the style of windows here, you can't really see in, but you get an idea here. The property back here is actually really beautiful. Hola, buen día.
His name is Adalberto, but
Alberto,
Yes,
pero
me too.
también chino.
Está bien.
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Mucho gusto. Today is the day of the healthcare workers, and she's a nurse. Oh, she's a medic, and so it's important to say thank you. And her husband, Gino, is just bringing my stuff.
You're home.
Ah, muchísimas gracias. Oh, gracias, okay.
Okay.
Lista.
Tenga buen día.
See? All right. We did get a deal, but I will say this. You need a guide to get a deal. If you're just traveling here, you're getting the regular price. So it doesn't really make sense to tell you. I think the average price if you go into town from here to Havana is 100, which to be honest, the price of gas and all of that, very expensive. We did not get that, but I'm not gonna tell you how much because if you want the price, you're gonna have to take a tour with Osmany. All right, so today took an unexpected turn of events, but you know what? It's early in the morning. We've got lots to do today. Our first formal obligation is not until lunch, and we found this spot called Datudi. Most of the places here do not have their generator running, and that's because they only have so much generator power. They used it yesterday, not realizing that the power was going to extend into today. It's some kind of power outage that is through most of the country, and so nobody knows when it will come on, but it should come on at some point later today. However, Datudi, when we saw that they had music on or heard it, we thought, okay, maybe they have power. We came in and said, hey, if we get a drink, could we plug some things in? They welcomed us in, super, super nice people. I have a cortadito, which is typical Cuban coffee. Cuban espresso with a dash of milk. And then here in Cuba, they believe that a little bit of chocolate actually helps the flavor. It brings out coffee flavor and a little bit of the caffeine. And so you usually get a biscuit that has some chocolate in it. So if you're here, you want to look local, skip the Americano, go for the cortadito. Or if you're like Osmany, get a cappuccino and look like a Yuma. Just people here, so nice. They had no problem. They said they pointed out to numerous areas where I could plug in my phone. Not full charge. It's not as fast as if there were electricity because it's a generator, but if we sit here for half an hour, at some point I may be able to use my other camera gun. I want to thank Datudi for letting us come in, order a coffee, and charge. They actually have a really great balcony. It's right on the main street, and they have a menu that has like Cuban favorites like pizza, spaghetti, ropa vieja. They also have lobster, fish, and tacos. I think it's probably more of a mix of Cuban, like a Cuban Mexican taco because Cubans are really interested in Mexican food. Really great place, amazing service. As soon as we got in, they said, yes, we've got Wi-Fi, we've got power, where do you want to charge? Like they really understood we were in a bind. It's always nice to go to a nice restaurant, but a great restaurant isn't about the food, it's about the service. And here, they're just like top notch. But now it's time to move on to our next location. When Osmany says he's got somewhere to take you, you know it's going to be good. This is exactly why I wanted to take a tour with him because I did not know about this place. We are at Paraíso Agroecologico restaurant and farm. So basically this is an agritourism place. It's been open for 10 years. It was originally a farm and they've added like a restaurant component to it. And actually soon they're going to have 2 little apartments, 2 bedrooms, which would be amazing. This will be the best view that you can get in town. And what's interesting about this is in 1999, not a lot of people knew about Viñales. It wasn't a tourist spot. A lot of people lived very humbly. They were farmers. In 1999, that was the UNESCO designation, and it's for the cultural, I'm gonna put it right here, like cultural humanity. Basically, it recognizes the tradition here of farming, the beautiful landscape, but also the tradition that they have, not only just in farming, but their homes and all of it, which really did help preserve things, but also put a spotlight on Viñales. And in the last 26 years, it's become one of the most popular places to visit, and certainly like the most beautiful. This is stunning. We are going to go and meet one of the people working here. She's going to explain a little bit more, but basically this is farm to table, one of the original. Everything is supposed to be, I think, without pesticides, and they've learned just how to do that naturally. We are here when it opens right at noon because it's supposed to be popular. So it's hot out, but we're the only people here. I cannot get over these views. Viñales is amazing.
So welcome to the farm. This is the first ecological farming hall Viñales, and it's called Paradiso. We have been here for around 15 years ago, and the 80% that we bring to the restaurant come from the garden, so it's the ecological restaurant. Here you will find a set menu, we bring everything for you, and then you have included water, coffee, dessert, vegetable soup, many vegetables, rice and beans, and 3 main of courses. Usually we bring chicken, pork, and lobster. When you come here, you can walk around the garden, see all the plantation that we have over here, and also the ecological method that we use to keep away insects, because we never use pesticides. We have 13 acres of land and around 43 kind of vegetables growing, but in different seasons. Also, you can find animals around the garden, and you can explore it and see all that we have over here.
And how do you not use pesticides?
So we have many methods. So for example, you can see a lot of corn growing around. So corn is the sacrifice plant for us. We plant corn because it's so sweet and attract the insect. So insects fly to the corn, they eat all the corn beans, but they don't fly to eat other vegetables around. And also we use the marigold, basil, lemongrass, because they have really strong smell and keep away insects. Also, Viñales has a really nice weather, and we are 204 meters over the level of the sea. So it's a higher point in Viñales, you can see around Viñales town, and this part is called Silence Valley.
Y José Martí.
Yeah, el martí ya siente in Spanish.
Y also, you have a casa here.
We have?
You have a casa?
No, it's only the restaurant, but we are making 2 bedrooms down for the rent in the future.
In the future.
But
So it's
yeah,
not finished?
Not
but
yet.
no, not yet. So we live on town.
It will be the best view.
To see the sunset, I think it's the best one.
Amazing.
It's amazing. It's really nice.
How about the drink, the local customized drink?
Yeah, we have a special cocktail over here.
Okay.
That is called anti-stress.
Okay.
So only you find here, and it's like a piña colada with 5 medicinal herbs. It has pineapple juice, coconut milk, honey, cinnamon, and the herbs gonna be basil, anise, lemongrass, mint, and peppermint.
Well,
And it comes without alcohol. I bring the bottle of rum, and you add as much you want for yourself.
Okay, well, I mean, it is healthy, so yes, let's
want
do
to
it.
try it?
For a-
Yes, we definitely want
Yeah,
to try.
so
Yeah.
2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Now, if you know who Jose Marti is, when you look directly out, you can see one of the mogotes, which is the large kind of mountains, I guess you would call them. What do you call them? Like mountains, or I don't know the technical term. But yesterday when we were at Las Terrazas and we visited the artist there, he actually had a postcard that he gave me, and it shows this mountain, but actually he paints in the side profile of Jose Marti. It's pretty cool. This is fantastic, but it's just missing like one thing. Let's go get it. Okay, so when you open the bottle for the first time, you never pour into a glass. You pour just a little bit on the ground, and it is for the saints or the whatever you believe in at that time. And then you can have a little bit yourself. Oh yeah, that like makes it. You know, before I came to Cuba, I was not a rum drinker, and then ended up just drinking like rum on the rocks because it's so good here. Ooh, that's it. This is it. This is the stress reliever. This is like one of the best pina coladas. I do think they're using coconut cream in it. It is so rich. Just the extra little herbs in it make it like so interesting with the pineapple. And the rum, it relieves all your stress. Osmany just found out this place has been around for 15 years actually. He knows it for 10, but it's actually been around since 2010. And it's not undiscovered because you can't keep a place like this secret. It's empty because 2025 has been very difficult for Cuban tourism. And so this place was once very busy. A lot of people wanted to come out here for its spectacular views and the food. Sometimes, you know, there are still tour groups that come out here, or bus drivers will come out here because it's so popular. Tourism here is really quiet right now, which in some ways is good for me because I get my run of the place, but inevitably I actually feel bad because, you know, people work so hard to make really interesting places to share part of their culture, and also I'm the only one here. So I do hope that changes. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I do hope that maybe when we're done eating, a huge tour bus or a group of people come so that, you know, it's easier for them to make a living, because what they're doing is really interesting. And I think agritourism is such a great way to help maintain farming, help maintain families, and just like community culture. As I was shooting down below, Miguel, who told me he's just a campesino here, he works on the farm, and the farm has actually been here for 20 years. It just keeps getting older and older, but it's been a restaurant for 15, and Osmany has known it for 10. And he took me on just a tour around, showed me their compost and their tobacco, the pigs. It hasn't rained here for 2 or 3 days, which is definitely an issue for the farm, so they're hoping for a little bit of rain. And also he told me that people say he looks like Antonio Banderas. I can see it. He could be like Antonio's brother. I definitely see why people say it, but just a really nice man, just walking me around for no reason. Another reason why you should learn Spanish. It is one, I think, of the most beneficial languages to learn because so many countries speak it. And if you do, you can have just these moments with people where they take you around and they show you things like compost and pigs in the mud. Anyway, Miguel, just a really nice man. It was not his job to come up and give me a tour. It was just very impromptu. It was just a really, really nice moment. And he said definitely that it's been slower. And so I think sometimes it's just really important to stay overnight, stay a little while, eat the food, enjoy yourself, have one of those drinks. The relaxation, it was called the relaxation drink. I feel very relaxed. More people are coming. It looks like they're all Cubans, actually. Osmany just saw one of his friends. He said, we have to stop talking. I just saw like one of my very good friends. I haven't seen him in so long. And it looks like, I don't know if it's people from afar, but it seems like a bunch of Cubans have come to support this place. It is 1 o'clock. So my advice is to come at 12. I am so happy to see that they are actually getting busy. I think so far everybody here is Cuban. Like national tourism for the most part. There's a little bit of a mix, but it's nice to see. But if you want to get here and have kind of your own experience, definitely come here by 12. This is yuca cracker, and they have house-made red pepper mayonnaise as a little bit of a dip. Now, yuca is actually gluten-free. It's a great snack, and it's local. So if you're coming here and you have gluten problems, this is the snack you want to get to know. And thankfully, there's yuca everywhere. That's nice. Another tour group. We got the Cafecito. It's looking right out. So get here at 12 if you want to get the best spot. It's very crispy and light, not heavy. And this one is fried, like just a light fry. It doesn't taste like heavy fry. It's really nice and light. Good. This is a 3-course menu for 2 people, but to be honest, guys, I feel like it's for 6 people because they give you chicken, pork, lobster, and then they give you congri, which is the beans and rice, so classic to Cuba. And then you also get so many vegetables. They have whatever's in season. So right now we have squash, lettuce, cabbage, cucumber, green beans, tomato. I think we're right at the end of tomato season. And also we have soup to start with. Did I cover everything? I think I did. There is so much here. I don't know where to start. And that's my favorite thing, which is this. Yuca al mojo. So yuca al mojo is the yuca that they on top have like a sauce, and it is oil, usually lime, garlic. Con mojo. It's so good. When I was in Cuba, 2018 to 2020, I ate way too much of this. Like, it is so delicious. As I said, it is gluten-free. So you can have yuca like so many different ways, but in like a garlic, buttery garlic. It's creamy, garlicky, and it is delicious. I mean, I love potatoes. I come from Canada. We love potatoes, but this is fantastic. I also come from the East Coast, the land of lobster. I've had Cuban lobster before. It's not the same as what we have in Canada. because they don't have the arms. So it's like, I think it's supposed to be called a rock lobster. They've actually cooked this in red pepper, and it looks like a red pepper garlic sauce. So it actually looks good. I usually like my lobster with nothing on it because lobster tastes good on its own. But, okay. They know what they're doing. We're in the mountains, but we're in the valley. But this is really good. Garlicky, buttery, and it's not overcooked. That's the key thing. A lot of people overcook it. And then finally, I just want to get into a little bit of this pork because I just saw the pigs. So this should be fantastic pork. Now, Miguel told me that they usually raise the pigs for 6 months before they end up on your plate. That is good pork. This is pork loin, and yet it's very tender. I don't know how they do it. Well, I do know how they do it because they've been doing it for 15 years. This is really tasty. So this is basically set menu. It's the only thing that you can do here just to make it easier for them. Everybody gets it, so much food, and it is an unbelievable price. And I will put the price down here so that I can confirm it with you. But Vinales is so tasty.
Tocando las cuerdas de mi cora, bebiendo, cantando las canciones cuando me enojas.
All right, so it's a little bit later. As you can see, it's actually dusk. After we walked in, that was a half an hour walk. A lot of people take a taxi, but we decided to walk. And we were so hot that we just decided to duck in and take some time off out of the sun, have a cold shower, and hope that the power came back on. It did not. It's been 24 hours. This is not usual for Cuba. Now, Cuba does have, right now in 2025, rotational blackouts, but you usually know when yours is going to be, and a lot of places have generators. This one is surprising. It's taking over most of the country, and it has something to do with a problem with the power grid. So we're gonna head back into town. I'm going to show you some of the houses, a little bit about the UNESCO story here, and then I'm hoping to share something really special with you. There's a product here that I think is really cool.
Una musa pa' este disco, una canción con cafecito, oh, oh.
When you come to Viñales, you will notice these small one-story cottage-looking houses that are so colorful, and it's where you'll stay if you rent a Casa Particular, which I recommend. Originally, historically, these houses were actually made out of wood, but by 1999, when Viñales received their UNESCO Heritage Designation, they were primarily brick with cement. Of course, everyone upgrades over time. However, they still have the iconic Spanish tiles. So today, they must keep that same style. And the colors, these bright, vibrant colors, you can't have two houses of the same color side by side. So those are the rules for it. I do think, you know, I've stayed in one every time. They're a really great experience. Find one with a rocking chair or chairs in the front so you can kind of just sit outside. Now, there's so many things that you can do in Viñales. As I said, I've been here twice before. Right here, I'm gonna put a QR code to everything that I've done in the past because we just could not get it all done in one day. But there are caves that you can see, this crazy prehistoric dinosaur painting wall, lots of fun stuff. And I do think Viñales is worth a couple days, at least one night. But there is one place that I want to share with you, or I'm going to actually get Osmany to share with you, which I believe is the oldest house in the city.
So here we are at Don Tomás house, former house of Don Tomás, named after the very owner, the first owner, that in the 19th century, 1889, used to live here with his family. So right now, it's a state-run restaurant, but we try to maintain its original look. So it has been renewed from time to time because it's made out of wood, and from time to time, remember, the humidity in Cuba is very harsh on these structures. And also not only humidity, but also the hurricanes. For example, this one was completely restored after the hurricane that hit the island in 2010. But right now, it's how one of these original houses, in this case a mansion or a big house, two-story building, used to look back then in the 19th century. Most of these houses were like this at that time.
One thing I'll add is we did have plans to come show you this afternoon so we could see inside. However, as you know, there's a power outage and inside it is dark. So you're just gonna have to come check it out for yourself.
You're going to see lodges, we call lodges or guilds, Freemason guilds or lodges. We call it lodges, logias. Martí, like many of our War of Independence heroes, generals, were Freemasons, and they were using these places to plot against the Spanish domination. The same happened in the US. Washington, Jefferson, all of these guys were Freemasons, and they used their brotherhood to plot against their colonizers.
And we're ending the day at Zona Verde, or Green Zone. And it is a little bar cafe that is very green. Last night we came here, they were playing local music, and it was strictly locals, except for me, of course. Tonight, I think some foreigners have discovered it, but it's still worth coming to. I think it's a cute spot, and they have a really interesting beer that I want to share. This is called Paranda. Now, it is a partnership between a Dutch company and a local Cuban brewery, and basically what makes it different is that this is a plastic bottle. So to become more sustainable, not to use glass, they are actually going with lighter weight plastic, which makes it more sustainable, not as heavy to transport, and on top of that, they're actually encouraging people to return them, to recycle them for different incentives. I think it's a great idea, and if you want a light beer, this is very light. It doesn't have a lot of hops, not too bitter. It's kind of very easy drinking. I would love if they served it with a lime. It's that kind of light, hot weather drinking beer. And so that's how we're gonna end it today. In the next video, I'm still gonna be in Cuba. We are just getting started. So I will see you then with more food, more history, and beautiful sights.